Hello, someone, McLean. This is the foyer of the Marriott Baku, what's it called? Boulevard Hotel. Beautiful place it is. This is what it looks like around here. And it's very lush. And if you ever come to Baku for a Grand Prix, which you should, because as we know, it delivers, I recommend this place to you highly. Beautiful pool, indoor pool, 28 degrees heated. Hello to Luke and Nico. And here we go. I've got, have I told David? David, I can't even send him a message. Hopefully he gets the message. Hello to Nyala, is it? Who's a member? Oh, yes. No, this is not the new scarf, people. This is one I've had for a year or so. And I bought two along. And this is 50% of my scarf component because, as you may have seen on one of my videos, the other one they wrecked here at the hotel inadvertently. Somebody put it in the wash, not dry cleaning, despite the fact that I ticked dry cleaning, and it's now significantly shorter and thinner than it was before. Hello, Daniel from the UK. Now I'm having to go to the UK a couple of times this year to escape Schengen countries because I have so few nights left on my visa that I have to leave after each race and get in a little bit earlier, a bit later to each race than I would have liked. And Ethan is from Perth. What is the time in Perth? 4 hours at 10:30. That means it's 12:30. No, is daylight saving finished? Yes, so it's 11:30 on the East Coast. Hello to Singapore. Hey, bummer about your race getting cancelled, and expect an announcement about Australia's race at some time. It will not go ahead, people. I don't know if they're even selling tickets at the moment. If they are, you should not be buying them because I'm almost certain it's going to be cancelled. Hello from the Czech Republic. I've been to Prague. Very nice place, and you'll see people walking in and out here because I am in the lobby. So you've got some gentleman over here jabbering like I'm jabbering, but thankfully this is at a very directional mic and we should not pick him up. We have 175 people on here, and hopefully you've watched my latest video, which was my top rater of the last 10. In fact, it's right up there. And this week I'm going to be doing watches of Formula One. Yes, I've been to Malaysia to the 2017 GP. Hello, David. Just finished watching your best day. Yes, it was a great day, and we'll talk about that in a second. Jacksonville, Florida. There's a football team there, isn't there? Or a baseball team, Jacksonville, something or other. Nepal. Unusual that I've got followers in Nepal. Delighted. Hello from Canada. Hello from Sweden I've got there. Anyone from Tirana in Albania, because I have to go there. Why am I going to Tirana? Because I have to escape Schengen countries to save nights, and that is the closest place to go. And I have to go between Austria 1 and Austria 2. I have to flee Schengen and come back for Austria 2. Hello to Eddie, one of my members. Now, members, have you seen that today I put up 4 raw images from this weekend's race that you can go and download and do as you wish with? Don't sell them, obviously. They're for you to play around and edit. Obviously they're not my very best images, but they're okay and I'll give you a feel. Am I going to France? Yes, I am. And I'm going to France to get in there as late as possible. Ultimate Images, says one of my members. Eddie, yes, you saw them. Great. David, already working on the raws. Nice to hear. Singapore cancelled, yes. Maybe not officially, but it's not going ahead. And I've gone and booked accommodation in both Istanbul and in Shanghai, because one of those cities, I think, will get a race on that weekend. Do I think Miami will be brought forward a year? I don't know anything about it. Did you have to wear masks? Yes, because I'm drinking in here in the lobby and I'm seated, I can not wear my mask, but if I move around, I have to go and put this lovely piece of material. Oh, now you can buy masks with Kim Illman. I'm not actually sure what's on those masks. My office has done some merchandise and I'm getting 2 sent to me so that I'll be promoting me at F1 with my masks. Right, which races won't you go to? And I'll go to all of them if I don't get COVID. Vettel P2, yeah, that was lovely, wasn't it? Race in Germany, well, I think that's tricky. I think more likely the Europe, if there's any that's cancelled, it'll be Mugello, Istanbul, and China will be the options. Did you see I saw the floods at Spa. That was pretty interesting vision. Hello from Greece. Would you like some help with your stay in Tirana? Yes. Well, no, I just need someone on the ground actually to maybe help me with some couple of things. But info@kimillman.com if you have any suggestions via email. Thank you. Hello to David Sterling. He's a new Starling, I beg your pardon, is a new supporter. Great. So David, automatically that allows you to go and get those raw images that I put up from the race prior, and then also the one before that, Monaco. You will still be able to find the link in there and download those raw images and have a play with them. When you come to the Netherlands, I could help. Yeah, thank you for that. Not sure what I'm doing there. It's a bit far away, but I thank everyone for their offers. Is there a country you'd like to go to? Yeah, look, I'm quite excited about going to Albania because it's only an hour and a half from Austria. That guy's very loud. He's louder than me. It looks like a great place, and I've found the best hotel in town, and it's very good value. I haven't yet replaced my scarf. No, I'm waiting to find a high-end boutique where I can get some choice, because here, not much is open, unfortunately. Do I get recognised in hotels? No, actually, that's an interesting comment. How do I pronounce your name? Nandakuma, I hope that's right. Because often I will say to hoteliers, look, I'm coming, can we do a deal? And I'll get you some good exposure. And a lot of the times I don't get a response, or they say no. However, once I'm here and I do a video and I talk about the place, like this hotel, they've been great. They've looked after me, given me a good rate for my extended stay. And certainly that's happened at the Rotana, downtown Rotana Hotel in Bahrain. And now I'll go back and stay there every time, and I think I'll do some good business with them. And I may even bring a whole lot of people to these hotels, because I figure if I'm happy staying here, most people would be happy. You know, I've got pretty high standards and I want to be comfortable. But then again, I don't need to stay at a Four Seasons, because that's way over the top and tends to be, then I look at the menus for the restaurants and I think I'm just getting reamed here. So I think I look for 4 stars, sometimes 5, but good value 4 or 5s. Hello from Panama City, and if you want to get your comments straight to the head of the queue, get onto Super Chat or become a member. I don't know when I can do my dinners again, guys, because it's all up to F1 at the moment. We're supposed to stay apart from the general public, and it was very funny. And if you watched my last video, after the race, normally where the photographers are the only ones allowed onto the track after the race, there was about 100 people out on the track, and no one was social distancing. They were all on top of each other, and it was a little bit disconcerting. And then, of course, all those people went up to wait for the drivers to go to their press conference and come out. So when the drivers came out, everyone sort of, marshals are holding their hands out like this, shepherding people away, and don't get near our drivers, because imagine that. Max gets himself COVID from someone inadvertently, and suddenly he's lost potential 25 points. How was Max's energy after his crash? I saw him interviewed, and I thought he was really calm, and he was just very honest about what had happened. Thank you to Luke. Here's a question. All cars are equal. Who wins? Oh, I don't know. At this stage, I'm thinking Max. Max is probably the better driver. And I know Lewis didn't make that mistake now, and when I did the video, I didn't know what I knew now, and it was a button on the back, eh? Never been to the Indian GP, been to India once before, and this week I noticed that 9.6% of one of my metrics was Indians, and Americans had jumped British. So it was America, Britain, India was my top 3 countries. No, I don't know who Seb was referring to when he was talking about peeing during the post interview. In fact, I was editing until about 10:30. I decided to stay down out the back of the swipe, or at the back of the paddock where the swipe gates are, because there were no other photographers. Most of the photographers who were Brits had to go back on a charter flight, and even a lot of drivers, I think, were on that charter flight as well, which meant that they had to rush off. And I'm here for another 8 days, so I just hung around and got the most marvellous series of photos and really enjoyed it. Heard that Jensen Button, I noticed that George's shoes were a Duke and Dexter collaboration with Jensen. Schumacher, which one? Have you seen that meme? Name 3 drivers? Schumacher. Yeah, I set the bar low. Yes, because there are 3 Schumacher F1 drivers. More travel vlogs. I'm not traveling anywhere at the moment, but I will do a video. So my next routing, I was going to go via Istanbul straight to Nice. So that's a one-stopper. And as it turns out, now I have to go Baku, where's next? To Russia, to Moscow, overnight in Moscow, then to Paris, clear customs there, and then go to Nice. So that'll be about a 24-hour trip all up. Okay, here's Baku. The podium is either all 3 new or the usual mix of Hambear, Verbot. Do you think these events are planned for months in advance? Feels like it. What events? What, the finishes? No, I don't think so. But to see something exciting happen. We were very lucky, I think, to get that sort of into the race. And I thought up until Stroll's crash that it was very standard, just lap after lap, all in the same order. But then again, I'm not seeing what you are, so I don't know what went on probably 5.1 kilometres of the track that I couldn't see. Please buy me a camera. Now, why would I do that, honestly? I'm not an idiot. Who do you root for every race? I don't root for anyone. I don't root for anyone. I just want to see lots of exciting stuff happen. Do you know if any of the drivers took up the vaccine offer? I don't know, but I think most people in F1 are vaccinated, and I think it may come to a point where if you want to be in F1, you have to be vaccinated, and that would free up things at the paddock. I'm hoping. Best event to... I don't know. I don't do much outside of F1. Hello, Wisconsin. Do you think there'll be a New York City track? You would know as much as I do, and perhaps even more. Race was a bit stale. That's right, yeah. No, I don't root for Daniel, obviously. I don't really care who wins. I wouldn't mind if Mazepin won a race. I think that would be spectacular for the sport. Now, perhaps I'm a little bit anti-Lewis because he is such a good driver and everyone sort of backs him to go and win every race. And I'm thinking, let's have some variety. Let's make it interesting. I'm hoping to go to the Brazilian GP in November. Oh, I hear terrible things about Brazil at the moment. And I do hope that they sort their country out, because I believe their hospitals are 100% full, and politically there's not much will to sort things out. And I know we're some months away. What are we now? 5th month, 6th month? Yeah, we're still 5 months away. Fingers crossed. I learnt photography by taking photos. That's it. Just pressing the button, watching a few videos, but mainly taking photos. What was that one about Albania there? At the moment, Indo Astra, I'm sitting here at the... I'll show you. There we go. This is the foyer of the hotel I'm staying at. Marriott Boulevard. Very nice. Right on the water. And this fella over there talking. He's pacing backwards and forwards. Allow me to put this, jam that back in there. Now, in France, no, the drive to the circuit will be no problem this year, because they're only allowing half the fans, I think, and they're in 3 separate bubbles. You can't mix in bubbles. And I'm staying in Le Beausset, I think, which is not too far. Will you ever visit India? Well, I'm not saying no. I've been there once before, and I don't know whether I'll get back there, but at this stage, I have no plans. Perhaps that's the best thing to say. Beautiful weather here at the moment, although windy, a bit like Perth. And I don't like the wind. I've had enough of the wind. Yes, I am lucky. Well, no, I'm not that lucky. I've spent 40 years working for this, so I think there's a bit more than luck. How is Verstappen's teeth? I don't know. What happened to his teeth? He did go to the medical centre, and I heard today him talk about the fact that he found out that Lewis had come off while he was in the medical centre behind us taking photos on the tower, and his phone was going crazy. France has those red, blue and white runoffs. I don't like them. They just... every photo looks the same. But anyway, good photographers, the top level guys, will be able to get shots that provide a bit of variety. Any rumours on Bottas? Well, you might have seen him walk in with Fred Vasseur the other day and Tiffany. I took that photo and put that up. That guy needs to stop shouting. He doesn't realise that the phone actually magnifies the sound. He doesn't have to shout to the other side of the world. So maybe he'll go to Alpha. I don't know. Favourite podium? Yeah, I can't remember the ones before last weekend, so I'll say the most recent one. Are you using hotel Wi-Fi? Well, no, I should be using their Wi-Fi, not my dongle. Why should I use up my data when I can use theirs? What? Oh, that comment's disappeared, people. There's a Euro. Are you football fans? You know there's a Euro game, Wales versus Switzerland here, and I might be shooting that, which will be interesting. When am I leaving for France? At the latest possible moment. As I mentioned earlier on, it's a 2-stopper and an overnight stay somewhere in Russia. What up-and-coming track are you most hyped to shoot at? Is there anything new coming up that... not Silverstone, not Austria. I don't mind Austria. Not France. Where else are we going? Oh, I love Budapest. I love Budapest because there's a nice hotel I stay at and I like the city and the people are nice. Saudi, I'm very excited about Saudi. I reckon, I just saw those pictures on the net today about the pit buildings. Looks absolutely stunning. Russell going to Aston. Yeah, is that a rumour today? How expensive is it? Well, what do you reckon? It's not cheap. It's not cheap to do. Favourite Australian city apart from Perth? Maybe Melbourne. Don't get to Sydney much. Used to live in Darwin. Had houses in Brisbane. Not Brisbane, Gold Coast. But anyway, happy in Perth when I'm there. How often do you buy new camera gear? Well, it's not funny you should mention that because I was advised that the new Canon equivalent of the 1DX Mark III, but the digital version, not the digital, the EOS R type thing, whatever that's called, that's coming out soon. Now, the reason I'd get that is for shooting low, and at the moment, it's impossible if you put that camera on the ground to see what photo you're going to get unless you lie down. But obviously with the tilt-up screen, it's amazing. You can just hold the camera with your right hand and with your left hand, tap on the screen and take a photo. So I'm probably a candidate for that. What are my thoughts on the upcoming Miami GP in the US, and are you looking forward to going? Yeah, I am. I like new tracks, but I think we're a long way away from that, aren't we? That's next year. Had a big pizza for lunch today at Scalini's down in Port Baku. Right next door is Movida. I have had several meals there, and beside that is Harbour Pub, all great restaurants. I wouldn't go to that one I went to last night. What was it? The Rose Bar? It's overpriced, nice decor, but didn't grab me. No, I don't follow cricket. Don't really care much about cricket. Jesus, what have we got? 444 in tonight. Thank you for that. I've already mentioned Max's reaction. What country that hosts a race has the best food? No, I'm not very adventurous with the food. I'm not going out here and having the local lamb and stuff. So probably not well qualified. And to be honest, certainly on race days, we tend to have so much on that often we miss dinner and have to just grab whatever's at the media centre. Have you ever been to Norway? No. And if Norway was outside Schengen, I'd go there in between Belgium and Amsterdam because I've got, as I mentioned before. What do drivers eat before a race? I've seen them eat wraps with chicken and vegetables. I've seen them eat pasta, and I don't know what else. Ever broke a lens during a season? No. I've smashed a filter. No. I did one on African wildlife, buggered one up. How likely are to recommend anyone? Yeah, I would say come to Azerbaijan and Baku. It's a great place. This bloke's just pacing up and down here shouting. I try and... Oh, hello, Nico Edits. He's pouting, Nico. Hello, Nico. Favourite shot from this weekend? Probably Checo giving a headlock to Jacques Hextall-Smith. And also Pierre's pumping fist. That was a nice picture. Car pics, some of the stuff from the roof of the cinema looking down on the old town. Unfortunately, I never got to go up to the castle because you have to go up there for the whole session. And I mean, you have to dedicate the whole hour. You can't leave. You've got to stay there. So I mucked it up with the bus. I thought the bus was going up before FB3 and it wasn't. So I dipped out. But never mind. Can you get by in more of your countries of travel on just English? I think we're fine everywhere we go with English. And if not, I've got this phone that I'm using here for the live stream, and you can use that to translate. Yes, I'm looking forward to Zandvoort. Thank you for that question. If you Dutch Grand Prix organisers want team staff, yeah, well, I'd love everyone to be vaccinated, and then they can hopefully say, right, if you've been vaccinated, you can go in the paddock. Even if we have to wear a mask, great, happy to do that, but we just want to be in the paddock so I can cover the stuff that you like. Was meant to attend the Wales game in Baku, but COVID, yeah, rightio. Well, I hope that I'll be photographing it. I've been told that it should be okay. I'm just waiting on official accreditation. Membership info, yes, okay. To become a member of the channel, you need to go, and probably on a laptop, because sometimes I hear people can't get it. And in some countries you can't become a member because the government won't allow it. I know it's not terribly criminal, I would have thought. And yeah, you just go and click on the join button, pick a level of membership. You get more if you're a VIP member, but everybody gets access to these raw files. And yeah, I'd love to have you on board. Now, have I run out of travel tips? No, I keep coming up with goodies. I thought the last one was an absolute ripper, and that is joining local Facebook groups when you go to a place, because that way you get to meet locals. And if you're going skiing, which was my example, you'll often find ski gear at a very good rate, second hand. No, never been to Sweden. Shot any race? No, no to that question. Oh, somebody's walked behind us. Where are you planning to stay during the 4-week break? Now, I'll be going probably to Croatia, I think, for a bit of it, and hopefully renting a boat and staying on a boat, because I've wanted to do that for a while, and I think that's a pretty nice place. So if any of you know anyone with a lovely boat, let me know. Hello to Christina, who's just joined as a member. So you've worked out how to hit the join button. Now you can go and download those pictures. I don't do wedding photography. I could think of nothing worse. Horrible. That Germany, Daniel, isn't the best picture, isn't? Yeah, that is a great photo. Hockenheim. How many scarves do I own now? Well, I've only got one with me now. That's this one. But my wife's got about 100, and I'd have about 10. They're lovely things because I can get away with one shirt and just put something else around here. You should never make a video, okay, about that. What is that thing that you mentioned there? Are you in the hotel? Yes, I am in the hotel. I don't use Photoshop to edit my pics or low. Can you hear that guy? Photoshop I use for one thing, and it takes me 15 seconds to cut someone out, like a driver out, and have them as a floating image. And I recently learnt that, and I love it. But I have no other interest in Photoshop. It is way too clever for me. Why do we need Kim Kardashian? No, there's no comparison, my friend. How you started your photography journey? Well, I got a camera and I started taking pictures. It's that simple. It's got to take a lot of pictures. Yeah, hoping to see you at Silverstone. I still have no accommodation at Silverstone. I think it's one of the worst places for accommodation. That and Japan, which I believe we're going to. Do you actually check inside your shoes before you... No, I don't check inside my shoes. I don't even do that in Australia. And I've got a house in Lancelin where we often get snakes, brown snakes, dugites, all sorts. But we don't go taunting them, and they don't tend to attack us. Rightio, who's this? Maya Dukaka? Hello, thank you for becoming a member. What's the best laptop computer? Oh, I only ever use Mac. I love them. Eddie. Yes, we can hear him tell him. Perhaps, well, look, thankfully this mic is very directional and it's pointing towards me. Yes, I'm still in Baku at this hotel. Now, I saw another backer here, thank you. Mr. Slayboy. And I've got to keep tilting these glasses up because the focusing bit is down the bottom here. So to see the screen, I've almost got to do that. If I do that, the screen needs to be down there. Love from Kerala, thank you for that. What software do I use then? If you watch my recent video on how to shoot F1, I go into great detail, but it's Photo Mechanic and Lightroom. Those two things are, when they work perfectly, are amazing. No, I don't shoot F2, but you might have seen a post I put up on Sunday about the F2 drivers. Hello to VM, who's from Bangalore. They were out, they'd just done the media interviews, and they came downstairs and they got into a 6-seat golf cart, and Robert Schwartzman was having a field day with his magnum of Ferrari sparkling wine. Listen to that guy. I should go and follow him around. We can hear what he's saying. Thoughts about the Australian, I told you, Australian GP is going to be cancelled. You can bet money on it. Put your house on it. When COVID wasn't a thing, what was the best place to eat in the paddock? I liked Ferrari. Mercedes had probably a better spread of food. Never got to eat too much in Red Bull. So yeah, Mercedes and Ferrari were the two. I've just lost my questions here. Here they come. Any Baku food? No, I'm not much good with that. I haven't bought a new scarf yet. That's going to come when I find a decent store. There's not much open here. No, it's cool in this hotel. Trust me, it is cool. I've got 2 layers on here and a scarf. They love it cold, a bit like Singapore. Can you click some pictures of Roscoe, the dog? Well, if I see him, I'll take a photo. Or you produce him and I'll shoot it. Make sure to picture the Dutch fans being hyped by Max. Yes, because I believe, I don't know, are we having full crowd at Austria? I haven't found out yet. How do I keep track of what lap the drivers are on? Well, no, there's no trackside speakers at that last race. There was no crowd. Sometimes if there's screens, if there's spectators, we can see it, but otherwise I listen to the BBC app sometimes. But tricky to get at some places and horribly delayed, 40-second delay. Did you ever ask immigration to stamp on a specific page? No, I don't believe so. Let's talk about FlexiWing. Now, you know more about that than me, so you can talk amongst yourselves about that. How'd you end up finding Lawrence's yacht? No, somebody told me, somebody made a comment that Lawrence had bought his yacht to Baku, and that makes sense because those two guys came from the water side underneath. That's the two drivers for Aston Martin, came from the water side underneath and came up on the escalators. Have I fought with other photographers for a good vantage point? No, there's no fighting going on. It might be tight, but they're not pushing or shouting. With a couple of photographers who like to do that though. Just wanted to say I thoroughly enjoy and appreciate audio content. Thank you, Noah. Found it not long ago. What kept you? We've been waiting for you for ages. Harish, tell us about how much you make, mate. Tell us about your salary and all your costs. How can you get a job in F1? There aren't many jobs. You've pretty much got to be a freelancer and go out and find an audience and work out how to eke a living out. They'd be lucky to be 20 jobs as such. And pretty much you've got to be the best in the world to get those jobs because they're with the likes of Getty. Right, there is a question here from Peter. See, Peter's gone straight to the head of the queue because he's gone and spent a minuscule amount of money to get his question answered. So as a US fan, he's a US fan, your YouTube Insta posts have enhanced the F1 season. For me, that's very nice. No, Will Buxton, he wasn't at the race, and I did see, what's your last bit? Sounds like he had an anxiety attack. Yes, I saw that, him taking a photo of an ambulance. So who filled in for him on the weekend? Because I saw a woman by the name of Melissa Nathu, I photographed her. Was she Will's stand-in? Yeah, I didn't see him all weekend, and thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I don't know how Will's going, and I don't even know what an anxiety attack is. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't like to have one if it causes you to have to get an ambulance, so I hope he's okay. He's a very pleasant man to deal with. Melissa was on F1 TV, I'm sure. Now, is that what Will normally does, F1 TV? You tell me. Do a video about drivers' accents. No, probably not going to do that. I hate Twitter. I absolutely hate it. I have no idea how to work it, and somebody put a post up about me 2 months ago, and I doubled, went from 2,000 to 2,000 to 5,000 or something followers. I don't put anything up. What I would love is the ability to put a post up on one thing and automatically it goes to the others. But yeah, maybe I need someone to make that happen for me. I used to use some software that I posted to Instagram on, and then they suddenly went bust, and then I got my money back for my 12-month subscription. But now I have to use Facebook Creator, and it's not as good. And that's why occasionally I go and inadvertently tag the wrong person, because it doesn't show you the blue ticks. It just gives you names, and I think, oh, well, that's Giovanazzi or Kimmy or whatever, and then thankfully you guys say, hey, that's not the right thing. Don't use Twitter, stick to Insta and YouTube. Yeah, you can't do everything because it then dilutes. You're better off focusing on, well, as I'm doing, on those 2 social media sites, because it just works for me. Thank you for loving my videos. Moving day video, and it'll be a bloody cracker too, because I'm going to Moscow, overnighting in Moscow, then I'm going to Paris, and then I'm going to Nice, and then I'm driving. So it's going to be a great video. And I think because it's such a long day that I can edit as I go, and I should have it up pretty quickly. First GP attended, one of the Adelaide GPs when I was in my early 20s. Car length, no, probably not going to do that one either. High school education. Oh, you don't need any education for photography, none at all. None at all. Just go out and take photos. Do you like French food? Nah, don't like. Well, I don't know, what is French? I like French fries. I like their bread. I don't like terribly gastronomic stuff. Happy with a great steak. Love Japanese steaks, those Kobe Wagyu steaks, 400 Aussie dollars for one, and unbelievable. France is very hard to shoot with the big runoffs, as is Silverstone, and you're pretty much on your 600mm lens a lot. Do I fear dropping a camera? Yeah, I do. And the other day I was photographing through a hole and I was hand holding the camera. I thought, no, I better strap it to my neck. And, oh, sorry, there's a super chat here. I'll come back to you in a second, Rich Minder. Oh, just quickly, what is the F1 car livery? Oh, I love the Gulf Oil McLaren. I just loved it. I think that would be great to shoot in the wet. Anything light coloured is better in the wet than the dark cars. I don't like the Mercedes and I don't like the Aston Martin if it's not in bright sunshine. And what was I talking about a second or so ago? I can't remember now. Oh yeah, I love the ham, or the jamon in Spain. It's the best. I can't do a proper day in the life because I get no photos. Because I can't take a photo of me doing all the stuff. It just doesn't work. Now if I had someone there, if the other photographers wanted to do it, yeah. But no, it's tricky. It's tricky to do. Having my breakfast to use stream 2 pieces of sourdough toast, I love it, but I would have butter and Vegemite. Now I haven't had Vegemite. Australians know Vegemite, and those of you who don't, it's a black paste like Marmite. It's fantastic. I've not had it for so long, 2 months. Now I've got to find this Michael. Hamilton put on a show when he saw you outside the hotel. Which drivers and motorisers stop and do something when you see them? Okay, well, Valtteri, you might have seen my reel. Valtteri gave me a cheers with his coffee. Pierre's great. Charles often looks, and I'm always appreciate that. George will often look. Daniel will sometimes do this. Nicholas Latifi did this the other day. Mazepin's great, really great. He rode his scooter out and gave us a thumbs up. Who else? Lando's great. I don't know Yuki, so I wouldn't expect him to recognise. But look, that shot of Pierre the other day was great because I was the only one out there, and he came out and he looked directly at me and for 2 or 3 seconds had that fist up, and it allowed me to get a remarkable series of photos. And to be completely upfront, if I was a local photographer, I would not expect any driver to do that. They're unlikely to do it to anyone that they don't know, because they don't know if they're ever going to see that picture anywhere. But I guess Pierre knows that at least I've got an outlet for it, and there's a chance that it'll be seen by people. Go to the Australian Embassy. Have they got one here? That's an interesting suggestion. Perhaps somebody could tell me, is there an Australian Embassy here in Baku. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Yeah, I love the one of Pierre too. It's not expensive to get accreditation. It doesn't cost you anything. It's expensive to travel. Have you seen Mazepin might have to leave to do his military service? Oh, somebody made a comment today about that, which has correlation to Muhammad Ali years ago when he had to do his military service. And Elvis. No, Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay back then said no to it. Do I have to pay for my planes? Well, who else is going to pay for them? Opinions on Azerbaijan food. I had some little tasting things the other day. A lovely dip. But no, I don't. Look, I'm not very adventurous, so I'm not really the right person to ask. Thank you to Gustav from Sweden, where they have thousands of islands. Mazepin, Elvis and Ali. There's a great threesome there. 90 Nizami Street. I've been a lot in Nizami Street. Oh, I nearly got ripped off by this bastard Azazel salesman. Tried to scam me. I needed some SIM cards, and the local network is Azazel, and I walked into what I thought was a company shop. In fact, no, I didn't even think it was that. It was never going to be that. It was a shabby little place. I said, do you speak English? He spoke good English, and so we started chatting. I said, right, I need this package. It's 17 minute. This one's 25, and so this goes on for 10 or 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and he says, yeah, it's 100. What? It's 100. I said, no, it's not. It's 17 plus 25. Oh, no, you got to pay 20 for the card each. No, you don't. Yeah, I've already got them set up. You have to pay it. No. So we argued for a bit, and then he said, well, I'm going to call the police. Off you go. And so I let him call the police. And 5 minutes after he called the police, he said, oh, you can go. So I went down to Azazel's head office, the proper one I should have gone to, and paid 58. Are you staying in the same hotel? No drivers stay here. They only stay at 2 hotels at the track here, and that's at either end of the paddock because you wouldn't stay anywhere else. Who was with Netflix? Oh, I can't remember what they were dressed in this race. I probably should take a note because I see them. Yeah, I do look forward to the new race format because I think we're going to get some action rather than just cars boringly going around in FP 1, 2 and 3. Yes, it is the same lobby, Hummel 2670. In fact, it was just over there. And somebody made a lovely comment about suit guy wears the scarf well. And that's Patrick, the manager here, who's a lovely German fellow with many years hotel experience, I imagine. No driver has ever been rude to me, ever. I've not had an argument with any of them. Kim, do scam related in travel tips. Yeah, send me some suggestions. Happy to look at them. info@kimellman.com. Thank you to the new members who have joined up today. It's been great. Hopefully you will jump straight on there and get those raw images from the weekend's race. I put in a lovely picture of Pierre. I've put in a picture of Charles on track. What else? I can't remember what the other 2 pics are, but yes, they are yours. You can have them free of charge. Do you still have to? Yes, you have to wear masks inside, but I'm sitting down and I'm having a drink, so I'm exempt. But outside, no masks. It's so lovely. You can walk, and really, I don't go near anyone else. You know what I did find? I'll just go back to this comment. And get the discount for the merch, yes. T-shirts. I've got to get my own T-shirt and wear one. The people here are quite lovely, except 2 taxi drivers, 2 arseholes. I walked down the boulevard here the other day, and 2 policemen, and I must stand out like a Westerner, nothing on earth. And the policeman, 2 of these policemen said, welcome, hello, welcome. I thought, well, that's really lovely. And then I walked a bit further, and some guy looks at me as you know, we're walking like this, and he says, what's up? Oh, what? Hello. What's up, he says. And it's just really lovely. And the other day we're coming back from FP2, myself and another photographer, we're walking along the boardwalk, and so many people said hello because we were obviously there working. We had our tabards on and we had lots of camera kit, and that's a really lovely thing to be welcomed and recognised in another country. And that doesn't happen very often. No, I wasn't at the Indian GP. Swear something, bring or a specific cap, wear something so we can recognise. All you got to look for is the black bucket hat. That's all you got to look for. I always wear it, and the reason I wear that, and it's very important because I have to have the right bucket cap, because you can't have a cap with a brim on it because you can't put the camera up there, it smashes. You have to have something soft. If it's too loose, and it was very windy at this race, if that blows onto the track, I'm in all sorts of trouble. So it has to fit well but not be too tight. And so when I find a cap, I buy 3 or 4 of them and I make do with them. But yeah, that's why it is that cap. It's not for fashion reasons, it's so that I don't get horribly sunburnt. And I am quite amazed. Yes, thank you very much, Mango. I really appreciate it when members tell people answers to the questions, because you know the one I get all the time and you know the answer. But it's, I can't remember what I was saying now. Favourite moment from the Baku race. It was probably Lewis spearing off straight towards me, because it's something different, and it was high tension because we knew we were going to have these 2 or 3 laps of intensity, and it was great, just great. How many countries have I travelled to? I don't know, a lot. Most difficult country to travel to? What, this year? Don't know. None of them are difficult because F1 states very clearly what we have to do. We have to provide this, we have to get that and do that. Hello, Benjamin. Thank you very much for joining us today. Yeah, they're very clear on what we have to do, and if we do all that stuff, we have no trouble getting in. But the trick with France is that out of the blue, and then when we know this is going to happen and we have to be nimble, out of the blue they said, right, if you go via Turkey, you have to do 10 days quarantine in France, and that would have ruled us out. So I had to change my flight from going via Turkey to now Russia and Paris. Do you suggest to make digital portfolio of photos we shoot in order to get freelance jobs? There are no freelance jobs. No one is going to give you a job in Formula One. You have to go out and find an audience, I think, and then all you have to do is go onto the FIA website and work out what they require to accredit you, because you need to get accredited. If you can't get accredited, you can't come and shoot. But you know what I love? Some comedian says, when people ask him, how do you become a really good comedian? He said, well, you've got to do this job for 6 years and get no money. So if you've got 6 years of getting no money and being abused and being howled off stage, and then you get to the end of that 6 years and you've got a chance of earning some money. How can I join any new video today? No, there's no new video today. I did one yesterday. You just join, hit the join button next to subscribe, and that's all you have to do. And probably you have to do it on a laptop because some phones don't show it. And in some countries, I'm afraid to say, they won't allow you to become a member. They don't trust you. It's a bit like heroin, I think. You just overload on it. Have you ever been to Sweden? Never have I been to Sweden. Will you do a future video of raw edited photos by your subscriber? No, I've done that. Put it up already. Anything you find wrong with Abu Dhabi? No, I quite like Abu Dhabi. It's a lovely atmosphere. And last year, all of F1 was quarantined on the island. They couldn't go off the island. It was like a prison island, Alcatraz. And I think that's probably what's going to happen again this year. Hopefully not, but anyway. Would you shoot more travel video around Australia? No, I don't know. Not sure yet. I speak a little bit of German, Christopher, enough to be understood and understand. Hello from Mount Lawley. Mary Street Bakery. Is that Mount Lawley? Yeah, quite like that. The Queens. How long will the drive be from Nice to Paul Ricard? I think it's about 2 hours. And is it the real Hungarian or one big brothel? I don't know about that. What is that, the reputation Hungary has? A big brothel? I love Budapest. I love it because I stay at a great hotel, and perhaps that gives me a sense of, at the end of the day, you come back and you go, I'm going to love this. Look for remodeled French circuit. Well, they've done some work, have they, Mr. John? UWA in Perth, Angus. Great place. Does the Melbourne Grand Prix feel like home for you? No, it does feel like home. And you know what? All the photographers, everybody in fact in F1 loves the Melbourne GP. It's just such a beautiful city. It's safe. They have great accommodation. So yeah, they love it. What about Oscar Piastri, who had a second on the weekend? Australians should be happy with that. Young Oscar had dinner with his trainer and him last week, and he's a really lovely kid. Doing well. Chance at a drive next year. Which country do you wish had a GP? Australia this year, that's my wish, because I have to go back there for insurance purposes, and if I don't, it's a bit risky. Are you doing every race? If I don't get COVID, I'll be at every race. And providing I can get to every race with flights and entry requirements. Britain's a pain in the arse because they want you to do COVID tests and on day 2 and 8, and it's just a real drama. But it works because it gets people to stay away. Do I make my own provisions for the race? Yes, I work out where I want to go, and often I'll, for quali on Saturday, I didn't even go out and photograph cars. I thought, no, because it's so hard to get around that track, for me to go anywhere and get a decent shot, I have to pretty much give up the whole session. I watched the first session from the media centre, and then when the first session was finished, I went down to the paddock and I photographed drivers coming out for their media interviews because they were in their race suits. They're good shots to get and hard to get this year. And I just hung around there, and that was fine for me. Hugs from Brazil. I hope you sort out the COVID problem, Brazil, because I would like to get to your country this year. Thoughts on the Dutch GP? I'm hoping it's a good one. I'm probably going to have to stay out by the airport now, I think, because I'm not going to have time to really enjoy the city. How do I choose hotels when it's a new race? I speak to people, ask them what they recommend. I go online and I look for places that have an area like this down here. This is the area. I want a common area that's comfortable, that I can come down and do this sort of stuff, edit if I wish to. I don't want to have to just be stuck in a room. And I've got this camera on my monopod, and it's the greatest little setup. And I think you'd agree that the audio is pretty good. I hope that's the case. You tell me, Sin, will Aston Martin win this year? I don't know. Most beautiful country we race at. Oh. Hang on, what's that? Stella's home. I don't know. I have to go through the list of 20 and in my mind and rank them. What comes to mind? Oh, that's tough, is it? Oh, Imola. You know, I really like the Imola track. At this stage, I'm going to say Imola, and they had food in the media canteen too. It was fantastic. Splendid audio, even with the background noise, yes, and there's some plinky music playing in here. No, I'd never work for a team. I would be terrible, and I'd get bored, and then I wouldn't have anything like the following I have here, because I would only get people who love the team that I'm shooting for, and I wouldn't get shots of everything else. So I think, no. Expectations from Canadian GP, I expect it not to go ahead. No, I don't have a Richard Mille watch, but I am going to do my watches of F1. And did you know that Haas has a new watch sponsor, came on board at Monaco, some company I've never heard of. No, Canada is not going ahead. It's been cancelled. Have you not heard that? Shortened free practice is not good. No, really tough. Well, I don't know. Do I get any more photos or less photos? I don't know. I can't move around as much. Audio's great now. No loud talker. Yeah, where did he go? He's gone. But still, if he'd have been walking behind me, it would have been a lot louder for you. I liked Malaysian Grand Prix. I liked a couple of corners there, and I liked some shots I could get in the rain, but I did not like the heat. It was very hard. Yes, I'm looking forward to the sprint race. Yes, I've seen myself on Drive to Survive. When will you No, I'm not doing OnlyFans. I can't do any more. I'm barely struggling to do this. Video quality has reduced. Yeah, well, it'll be a factor of the internet, I fear. What do you do with the rest of the photos? I save every photo I take in JPEG format on a hard drive, so that if in a year's time somebody says, "Oh, I was standing next to Seb at that thingo and you were there photographing," and I might think, okay, well, I've probably got a photo, so if they want to buy it, they pay up front, then I go looking and find it and they can buy it. Yeah, it is nice not to have to wear a mask, I promise you that. Who are you? I don't know. I'm just a guy talking to you at the moment. The W Series, the women are racing coming up soon. No, Silverstone accommodation is not sorted. And, I'm looking forward to seeing the W Series. Do you think Singapore's contract will be renewed? No idea. 100% mask free and no restrictions in Austin? We'll have to wear them. Don't worry about that. We'll have to wear them in the paddock. Nothing surer. And if that's not the case, I will be just so happy. I'd be happy if we got into the paddock, and I wouldn't even mind wearing them in the paddock if we had to. You can't take on an apprentice, Andrew. You can't get anyone in. You have to be accredited. You have to be in there. And what advice do you have for new photographers? Take lots of photos. Just take lots of photos and get better at it, and then you have to work out what F1 wants for accreditation. So go and look at their accreditation page and see if you can get accredited. Hello, Chip Miller. Which country watches your YouTube channel the most? America, Britain, about the same. India, Australia. But my highest CPM comes from Norway and maybe Sweden. For those of you who know much about metrics and that sort of stuff for YouTube, yeah, it's right up there, those two countries. Love seeing F1 from your point of view. Yeah, I like seeing it from mine too. Some tricks to meeting drivers and getting good pics in Montreal. I've been there once. It'd be a very short video, and I wouldn't probably trust myself to know any more than you. I don't make any predictions. I'm pretty much a spectator, just telling you what I see with my eyes. I don't work for F1. F1 has a contract with Getty. Describe the race in one sentence. It was very boring until it got wild at the end. Anything common shooting wildlife? Yeah, in F1, lots of waiting around for an animal to move, waiting around for Lewis to come down to go into the motorhome, that sort of stuff. Turn 15 Baku, turning into Wall of Champions. Montreal, yes, it is. Now, in quali, there was only, I think I saw two photographers up at that corner, and they were both local guys. On the outside where the crash happened, two crashes happened, and on the inside, I don't know, I wouldn't have thought anyone would have been on the inside because it's not a very easy place to get to, and I wouldn't have thought anyone would, unless they were expecting prangs, there'd be no reason to be there. Hi, Switzerland. Yeah, I've been to Switzerland. I stayed at Zermatt, loved it. And I've also skied at Saas-Fee. Do you run into the drivers after the races in hotels? Yes, occasionally. Would a woman F1 driver wear a watch? Can't see anything stopping her. After my wildlife photography work, what would you do in 2017 or plan to do if F1 was not an option? I just kept working in my company at home. Why do you think Lewis put the scooter away? I don't know, and I have no idea, but it was very noticeable and interesting. And look, it's so rare, and I don't think it's ever happened, that I've been one-on-one with him, because with Lewis, normally there's lots of photographers or autograph hunters, and it's very rare, and I think I made a quick comment, but yeah, it's not like he stops and talks, because he's a busy man, and he is in demand. But I thought his outfit was snazzy. Canadian tuxedo, somebody said. You make F1 weekend look so easy. No, it's not easy. It is a lot of walking and waiting, editing. Yeah. And like you get back at the end of the day and it's just covered in dirt. Any chance? Yeah, I know Paul Ripke, and I was on his, tuned into his live stream the other day. He's a character, isn't he? I featured him on Men of the Paddock too. And this is VM Yeshworth, oh, it's my bloody poor eyesight. I didn't miss a single video of yours. Good. I'm glad you found my channel too. Here's Balu. Which country's women attract you the most? The most beautiful woman I've ever seen at the track was in Abu Dhabi at the top of the W Hotel. I've never seen more glamorous, well-dressed women than I have at that place. But otherwise, where else? Maybe Brazil. Mia Jasic, yes. John, Mr. John, M. John. What are we saying about Mia? Back in the paddock now with Charles. I'm sorry if this was asked earlier, but how do you keep up with your family? Come over at some point because I am going to need some help with some projects I'm doing here and right to leave Australia for work. Have you reached any type of status with the airlines? Well, I'm a platinum member of Qantas, have been for 20 years, 15 years. OnlyFans is a bad thing where people post uncensored pictures. Oh, I know that. But no, that's not entirely true. That is true, but I know a couple of other content creators who have gone on OnlyFans and make reasonable money. Even bands are on OnlyFans. So it's not solely for nudes and porno stuff. You got a black card, have I? Do you ever get a chance to speak with the drivers? Yes, and particularly now when it's quiet, they'll often spare a minute or so for a chat, but it's not 20 minutes or anything because they've got stuff to do and we've got stuff to do. What does the air smell like? Now that's a very good question, and on a number of occasions I've noticed it, and it was turn 2, probably 50 metres after turn 2, on the outside of the track where the cars come very close, there's a real smell of, and I don't even know how I could describe it to you, but I noticed it and thought, right, I need to talk about that, which I think I did on my video. What is the process to get a job? There are no jobs. You need to get accredited and find a market. There are, I don't know, there's a few, forget about getting a job. If you want someone to pay you and you do travel around the world, it's not going to happen. As far as I know, from what I see. Now, where are my questions, people? Have I lost you? I've lost all your questions. I don't even know whether you're still there. You may not be there. It says, oh no. What's this person? There's someone in the background there. Can you see that? Someone over there. What else can I tell you about Baku? Why am I here for another 8 days when the race is finished? It's because I have to stay out of the Schengen countries because I can only be in there for 90 days in 180 days. And as it turns out, I'm going to be going right down to the last day with my last day at Monza. Right. I don't know whether you're still here. I cannot see any of your comments. They've all gone. So forgive me if you're trying to comment because I cannot see them. Anyway, look, we've gone 58 minutes and 37 seconds, so I may just say thank you very much for your attention and get onto the my members list by simply going and clicking the join button, which is right next to the subscribe button. And as I mentioned before, sometimes you need to do it from a laptop. In some countries, if you can't see the button, it's because your country does not trust you to become a member of a YouTube channel. So with that said, I'll say goodbye and thank you for watching. And remember, stay passionate.